Hello there, it's Padel once again, and we're here with week 7 of the UNPL. Yes, it's week 7, but that doesn't mean that week 6 isn't gonna happen. It's just gonna be postponed a bit because our opponent had a bit of trouble with scheduling and life stuff, so it's gonna be postponed. But it is gonna happen. It's not gonna be another forfeit win, hopefully, unless things go horribly wrong, which fingers crossed they don't. But yeah, today we have week 7, and it is against the Tricky Zorua, which are coached by Sencero. Before we get to the team builder, I have a couple things to talk about, which are a couple of trades that we made. The first one was I traded away Grimmsnarl for Tinkaton. I know it's a controversial trade because Grimmsnarl is an amazing Pokemon, but I just don't like playing with screens. And I don't like Grimmsnarl this gen. I liked it much more in Gen 8. Tinkaton, on the other hand, it's a Pokemon I really enjoyed, and I just recently found the shiny like a couple days back, so I really wanted it. And when it freed up, I saw it and I grabbed it right away. Initially, it was supposed to be a Hisuian Quillfish trade, but I grabbed the Tinkaton as soon as I saw it. The next trade I made was another pretty unusual one, a pretty And the second and final trade I made, I traded away Hippowdon for Mudsdale. I just didn't like Hippowdon in the team. Like with Toxapex, even though they're two different mons, it felt a bit redundant, and I couldn't find a way to slot it into my teams during Team Builder. So I decided to swap it out for Mudsdale, which is a Pokemon I have a fair bit of experience with and I really like using. And I think it fits the team a bit better. But yeah, these were the trades I made, and now I think we can go right into the team builder and then into the battle. So first of all, I say we take a look at the opposing team, which is made of Volcarona, Kingambit, Sylveon, Cerulege, Iron Leaves, which doesn't have an icon, Gastrodon, Tornadus Incarnate, Toxtricity, Haxorus, Frostmoth, and Medicham. We have, as you can see, not one but two Quiver Dancers in Frostmoth and Volcarona, which both can Terra and can be very threatening. We also got the probably one of the best Pokemon in the format, although it's not as good in Draft League as it is in OU, I will say, Kingambit. We've got a strong hitter in Cerulege, good walls, special, physical, whatever they want to be, in Sylveon and Gastrodon. A nice sweeper in Iron Leaves, very underrated in Draft League, in my opinion. And then we've got a bunch of threats. It's overall a pretty crazy team, but we're used to it by now. They are all crazy teams. The draft was a bit insane. But yeah, this is what we're working against, and this is what we're bringing. First up, as usual, is Sneasler. We are bringing the set that I would have brought week 5, but I couldn't because I got ghosted. It's Unburden with Normal Gem and Fake Out, and sorry, I put Terrifying. I meant to. There we go. And Terraflying for boosted acrobatics. There's not much to say. It's a great mon. It can deal with a whole bunch of stuff. We can set up pretty freely on Sylveon, Fake Out into a Dark Claw, take out pretty much, like, I think any variant of Sylveon, even full Fizdef, so that's great. We've also got a way to deal with Volcarona, barring Flame Body Burns, like a Fake Out into a couple of Dark Claws, or a Fake Out into close combat or acrobatics also deals with it if it's not fully fizz def. But yeah, being able to just activate Unburden by using Fake Out, getting a free turn, and then kind of sweeping from there, or trying to do as much damage as possible with Terra Flying, Acrobatics, Close Combats, fishing for status with Dark Claw. Sneasler is such an amazing mon, I love this thing. Now, second on the team is our newest member, Mudsdale, with a special defensive set, with leftovers and a Terra Fighting, with a moveset of Close Combat, Earthquake, Roar, and Stealth Rock. So Mudsdale is our most supportive mon this week, and it's there to like kind of wall to an extent and stop sweeps from happening. It's also there to deal with Toxtricity. We can switch in on it with our fully special defensive set and take a hit and Earthquake. We can also deal with King Gambit to an extent, if it's not boosted, with Close Combat. And we can roar out a Quiver Dancer that tries to set up on us, or an Iron Leaves who think it's safe to go for Swords Dance or something. So yeah, it's a very supportive set, but I think we needed something just like this to deal with our opposing team. Then we have our resident special attacker, none other than Shi-Yu, he who doesn't need to Terra, who can't Terra actually. I would love for this to Terra into water or grass or fairy or something, but it cannot Terra, it doesn't really need to with its ability and fully special attack invested timid set. It can just sweep. We've got a choice spec set for maximum damage. And we are going with a moveset of Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, Overheat, and Snarl. Snarl is there just in case we want to make sure the Volcarona in front of us doesn't completely sweep us. Like if it switches in on Chi-Yu instead of switching out to something, we can just stay in and negate its boosts from Quiver Dances with Snarl until it either gets annoyed and tries to take us out or switches out to try again later. But yeah, it's mainly there to break. Overheat deals massive damage, even if it's lower power stab moves deal massive damage. We didn't need any coverage move because it just goes crazy with those two types. Fourth on the team is another mon I'm really excited to be bringing. I wanted to bring in week 5, and it's H-DECIDUEYE. We're rocking an Assault Vest set with a moveset of Triple Arrows, Leaf Blade, U-Turn, and Shadow Sneak, and a Terra Fighting, and the ability is crappy. So this is such an amazing mon, I love it. We've got a fully fizz def set, which with the Assault Vest becomes just a pretty fucking bulky mon on both sides. And we can hit pretty much anything with Triple Arrows, or Leaf Blade is there for Gastrodon, which we can safely switch in anytime. And U-Turn for pivoting out. I originally was going to go with a more supportive set with Defog and Roost, but I opted for this one because we've got a better Defogger later on in the team. And the Assault Vest I think is going to be really useful in this matchup just because of the amount of special threats on the opposing team. So yeah, super happy to have this. It's a mon that I would have drafted even if I had this team from the start. And yeah, it's one of my favorites. I'm really happy to have this. Now we've got another new arrival on the team. It's Tinkaton, and this set, I will admit, I stole from Mount-A. It's a pickpocket air balloon set, which is basically the idea is you get hit by a contact move, it breaks your air balloon, and you immediately steal their item with pickpocket. So it's really useful for crippling an opposing mon. And besides air balloons, just a good item for Tinkaton. We've got a fast set with max HP, max speed, and a moveset of Gigaton Hammer, Player of Thunder Wave, and Encore, and I think she's gonna be quite good in this actually. She looks pretty good. And last but not least, we've got our bird, Talonflame, rocking the boots, and a Terraflying. We've got the ability Gale Wings and a moveset of Brave Bird, Roost, Defog, and U-Turn. So Talonflame is mainly our defogger and our safety measure for things like Volcarona and Frostmoth, who may try to set up and kinda get out of hand. If they get too fast, we can go out into Talonflame and fire off a priority Brave Bird to deal a lot of damage and possibly KO if they've been chipped. I think Frostmoth goes down either way, and it deals very good damage into even Fizz Death Volcarona. So yeah, this is our final mon, and it concludes our team. Let's take another look at the Zorua's roster, just so we can see them compared to what we're bringing. And we do have some weaknesses going into this, but mostly we've got pretty much everything covered. And I think we are gonna do pretty well. Like the King Gambit is almost completely checked by Decidueye. Sneasler is amazing. Cerulege is kind of the only one who might be a bit of trouble for Sneasler, but then again, Terra Acrobatics is almost always a KO, or it's really close. Anyways, even at +2, if we activate Weak Armor, it can outspeed Unbird and Sneasler. Then there's Iron Leaves, which we've got a bunch of answers to. And yeah, I think we've got a pretty good matchup overall. It's a scary one, but we're ready. So yeah, I'll see you in a few seconds for the battle. Alright, so the universe is against me, and I don't have the actual battle recorded this week either, because OBS decided not to save the recording. But I do have footage, because thanks to our good friend Kilua, who stepped in and volunteered to help me get some footage to show something in the video. We have went and recreated the battle to the best of our abilities. It's not gonna be completely exact, but I'm gonna narrate over it anyways, and I'm gonna tell you what happened differently from what you're seeing. And hopefully it's gonna be at least enjoyable. But yeah, I just didn't want to give you with a plain narration, so we got together and got to recreate in the battle. So here we found Kilua, which was originally Sencero, and as you can see, he brought a pretty scary team. A wall in Gastrodon. He brought Volcarona, brought Cerulege, Iron Leaves, King Gambit, and Haxorus, which are all great threats in their own right. So here I'm gonna choose my lead, and I decide to go with Luffy, the Hisuian Decidueye, predicting a Gastrodon lead, because I didn't see any better leads, and we can pretty much answer to some extent any lead they go for, even if it's not a Gastrodon with Decidueye, just because of our bulk we have in both defense and special defense with the AV. But yeah, we predict correctly, and Gastrodon comes out. We send out Luffy, and here I was covering for a switch, for a potential switch, so I went for triple arrows. Now, this is right away something that happened differently, because we were not going to be able to recreate this in a decent amount of time. Triple arrows got all three effects turn 1. A crit, a flinch, and a defense drop. Now in the recreation we didn't get any of those, but we slotted Sleep Talk on Gastrodon just so we could simulate a flinch or something like that. So yeah, Turn 1 was pretty much the best it could have been for us. Now I'm gonna go for a Leaf Blade because I'm covering for the Gastrodon to switch. It was at a bit over half health, and without another crit I thought it was a roll to kill, so I wanted to make sure with Leaf Blade, and if anything else came in we can just switch or do whatever. So yeah, we go for Leaf Blade as the switch and go into Cerulege. Now this Leaf Blade doesn't crit. The Leaf Blade in the match did crit, but it doesn't matter. It did very little damage anyways. So yeah. Now here I was contemplating switching, but I ultimately decided to try and stay in and click triple arrows to see if I could get some effect from it and deal a lot of damage anyway. So yeah. Thanks to our bulk, we take the Bitter Blade really well. They heal up to full, but we land our triple arrows and we get a defense drop, which we got here as we did in game, which was quite fortunate. But yeah, now the next Bitter Blade is gonna KO us, so I just switched to Ace, the Talonflame, to take it. Even though we're not invested in defense, we're gonna take it pretty well. So yeah, Ace comes in. Sorry, cats are doing cat stuff. Ace comes in, takes around 30% from the Bitter Blade. Cerulege heals up a bit. But now, thanks to the defense drop, after they go for Shadow Sneak, which was a good play to chip us down, we are able to go for Brave Bird and KO the Cerulege. So Ace, the Talonflame, gets the first KO of the match. Now they go into Iron Leaves, which is a move I honestly didn't understand. When I saw the booster energy, I didn't read it. I thought it was speed, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sack Ace and then go into Sneasler or something. But no, they were actually booster attack, and we went for U-turn, which crit, and got the one-hit KO on Iron Leaves, scoring our second KO for Ace. Now the crit was quite fortunate because U-turn didn't kill, even though it was 4 times super effective if we didn't crit, so that was a really nice thing to get. And now I thought Sadie, the Tinkaton, was my safest switch. And so we go Sadie. And they send out their Volcarona. And their Volcarona, to my surprise, was an offensive one. So here we just click Thunder Wave to try and cripple it if it wants to go for a Quiver Dance, but it just goes for Flamethrower, though thanks to Tinkaton's amazing Spadef, we survive. We didn't get burned in the match we do here, but it ultimately doesn't matter because we land the Thunder Wave, and now Volcarona slowed down. And next turn, I just decide, okay, Tinkaton is not going to be useful, it's not going to counter Haxorus anymore, so I'm just going to go for a Gigaton Hammer, sack, and then go into something that can KO Volcarona. So yeah, we go for the Gigaton Hammer. It did a bit more in the matchup, but it doesn't matter. And they go for another Flamethrower, don't get paralyzed, and KO us. So Sadie the Tinkaton is our first death, and Volcarona gets a kill. But now we can just go into the Destroyer, Chi-Yu. And click Dark Pulse, which with specs, it's always going to be a KO. There's no chance Volcarona lives it. So yeah, Volcarona goes down, Chi-Yu gets a kill. And they now send in Haxorus. Now Haxorus, I fully expect to go for Earthquake to try and take out Little Garden as soon as possible, so we go into Ace, the Talonflame. send Talonflame in, and we correctly predict the Earthquake, so we don't take any damage. And next turn, I decide to go for Brave Bird. So the recoil can take us out and deal a lot of damage into Haxorus and deny them the KO. Now, you're gonna see it doesn't match what I just said, but it's just a recreation. We did die in the actual game. So yeah, Talonflame goes down without getting them a kill, despite what you just saw. And now it's just the perfect chance to go out to Kuro the Sneasler and try and win the game from here. Because we can just switch in, go for a fake out, and activating our normal gem, which gets consumed, activating our Unburden, which we actually didn't really need because we were already faster than anything. But yeah, we now just go for a Dire Claw and KO the Haxorus. So Haxorus goes down, Kuro gets a KO. And now I misplay a bit, because they go into the Gastrodon. Now, Gastrodon is not gonna die now because of the triple arrow that didn't create earlier. But yeah, they go into the Gastrodon, and I misclick and I misplay by Terra Flying for the acrobatics. I realized right away that it was a mistake as soon as I clicked it, because now they are gonna be able to KO Sneasler with a Sucker Punch with their Kingambit, which is their last mount standing. And had I still been a fighting type on Kingambit, I could have just switched out to something, sacked something, and then came back in with Kuro and just clicked close combat for a clean KO, and that would be it. But we fumbled it a bit, and we are now at risk of getting KO'd. But I don't know if they were predicting me to like switch out, they were gonna Swords Dance or something, but they end up tearing Dark, but they don't click Sucker Punch. And so, as you can see, we were just able to go for the close combat with avoiding Sucker Punch, getting the one-hit KO on Kingambit, and winning us the match from here. So yeah, this was pretty much the game with a bit of inconsistencies. Thank you again to our friend Kilua Boom for stepping in and helping us with the recording, and thank you to Sencero for the match, and thank you all for watching. Hope you were able to enjoy, even if it wasn't the actual game. I'm just gonna chime in real quick because I forgot to say that even if they did click Sucker Punch and ended up KOing Sneasler, we had the win in the back basically, barring multiple crits, because we had Mudsdale in the back, which could live a hit and do pretty much 90% with close combat. We had Luffy, which thanks to the defense investment could live any non-crit hit and do a lot of damage with triple arrows as well. And we had Chiyu, who also took only up to 90% from a Sucker Punch and could KO back with a flamethrower. So yeah, we had our outs. Even though it misplayed, it would have at best cost us 1 or 2 more points in differential, but that didn't end up mattering in the overall outcome of the game. So yeah, I just wanted to say that real quick. And thank you for watching. Bye bye.